In the middle of the city, on a quiet street with bright shops and colourful signs, there was a fashion store called Sandra Styles. It was the most beautiful shop on the street. Big glass windows, golden lights, and fancy clothes made people stop and stare. But there was one problem. The owner. Her name was Sandra White, and she was not easy to like. Sandra was beautiful. Very beautiful. Her hair was always perfect. Her nails were always shining. Her shoes, expensive. But her attitude, very, very bad. She talked to her workers like they were her house slippers. "Anna, why are you standing like a tree? Move!" "Ben, you call this ironing? My dog can do better." She never said please. She never said thank you. Even the mirror was tired of her face. Her workers were tired too, but they needed the job. So they smiled, even when Sandra shouted at them like angry thunder. One Monday morning, something small happened, but it started something big. Sandra was sitting in her office chair, drinking lemon tea and scrolling on her phone. She wore pink heels and a long white dress. She looked like a queen. Just then, a young woman walked into the shop. She wore a simple black gown and slippers, no makeup, no jewelry. "Good morning," the lady said softly. Sandra didn't even look up. She hated when people entered her shop looking ordinary. "You're in the wrong place," Sandra said. "Try the supermarket down the road." The lady smiled and walked out. She didn't say anything. Sandra laughed and turned to Anna. "You see that? People who don't know their level." Anna opened her mouth to speak but closed it again. She had seen this happen before, but what Sandra didn't know was this: that ordinary lady was about to teach her the biggest lesson of her life. 3 days passed. Sandra was back to her usual self, walking around the shop like a queen on a fashion runway. "Anna, your hair looks like it fought with a fan," she said loudly. "Ben, stop smiling. You're not in a toothpaste advert." She laughed at her own jokes. No one else did. That Thursday morning, something strange happened. A black car stopped in front of the shop, a big, shiny car. A woman stepped out, tall, confident, and well-dressed. Her makeup was neat. Her bag looked more expensive than Sandra's whole outfit. Anna whispered to Ben, "Wow, she looks like a celebrity." The woman entered the shop and smiled. "Good morning." Sandra stood up quickly and adjusted her dress. "Welcome to Sandra Styles. How may I help you?" The woman looked around the shop with interest. "Nice place," she said. "Is this your shop?" Sandra smiled proudly. "Yes, I am the owner, Sandra White. You may have heard of me." The woman nodded slowly. "Actually, I have." She reached into her bag and brought out a card. Sandra took the card, looked at it, and nearly choked on her own breath. It read, "Bullet, Ms. Diana Cole, TV host, Real People Show National Television." Sandra's eyes grew wide. Her smile froze like a statue. This was not just any woman. This was Diana Cole, the famous presenter of a show that reviews businesses, especially how owners treat customers. She was the one Sandra had insulted 3 days ago. Diana sat down and crossed her legs. "Last time I came in, I wore slippers. Remember?" Sandra swallowed hard. Yes. You thought I was poor," Diana finished for her. "And you told me to try the supermarket down the road." The shop went quiet. Even the air stopped moving. Anna and Ben slowly walked backward like they didn't want to be seen. Diana smiled and continued. "We've been recording business visits for our next TV episode. Hidden camera, by the way." Sandra nearly fainted. "You'll be on TV next week," Diana added. "The theme is, when arrogance meets customers, you'll be the star." That night, Sandra could not sleep. She turned left. She turned right. Her pink pillow felt like a rock. "All my friends will see it. My parents will see it. My enemies will dance," she whispered to herself. She knew how popular the Real People show was. Everyone watched it, and next week the whole country would see her talking like a proud parrot and insulting a quiet customer. Her face would be on TV, but not for good reason. The next morning, She sat quietly in the shop. No shouting, no rude jokes, just quiet. Anna and Ben looked at each other. "Are you okay, madam?" Anna asked carefully. Sandra nodded. "I'm fine, just thinking." For the first time ever, she cleaned her own table. She even greeted the cleaner. "Good morning, Mr. Tom." The cleaner dropped his mop. "Did I hear that right?" That afternoon, Sandra did something nobody expected. She called a meeting. All the staff sat down, waiting for another round of shouting. But this time, Sandra stood in front of them with a calm face and said, "I want to say sorry." They blinked. "I've been very proud. I've treated you badly. I spoke without respect. I judged people by how they looked. But now, I know better." She took a deep breath. "If you will forgive me, I want to start again." Anna smiled first, then Ben, then everyone clapped. The next week, the TV episode aired. Yes, people laughed at the old Sandra, but they also saw the new Sandra. Diana had included the part where Sandra apologized to her and even promised to treat customers and staff better. The show ended with Diana saying, "Sometimes all a proud person needs is a mirror and a microphone." After that, something strange happened. Sandra's shop became more popular. Customers came, not just for clothes, but to meet the boss lady who changed. She smiled more. She said, "Please" and "Thank you." And from that day on, no one ever called her arrogant again. Lessons from the story. Never judge people by how they look. Being kind is more powerful than being proud. Everyone deserves respect, whether rich or poor. And that's the end of the arrogant boss lady. What did you learn from Sandra's story? Have you ever judged someone too quickly? Or maybe you've seen someone like Sandra before? Let us know in the comments. If you enjoyed this Learn English story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with your friends. More simple English stories are coming soon, so stay tuned. See you in the next one.